Hey again, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So this morning I am out in the greenhouse working. Gosh, it feels good to be working out in the greenhouse finally. We're actually having some really unseasonably warm weather this week. It's going to get into the 80s, which is crazy. And I hate to complain that that's a little bit too warm, but for some of my earlier crops that I want to get into the hoop house, that is a little too warm. But by the weekend, it's going to be back to normal. We'll be in the 50s, which will be perfect. We are in the middle of our hoop house build right now, which hopefully will be the next video that you guys see. But today in the greenhouse, I am working up on potting my dahlia tubers. Now these are the ones that I started, oh gosh, I'll have to put the date on the screen. February, March, I don't even remember. These are the ones that I put in soil and I took cuttings off of. So today I for sure want to get these big plants. I mean, look at these. They're just going crazy. I for sure want to get these potted up into gallon pots. And then depending on what some of my actual cuttings look like, I don't know if these will need potted up into 4-inch pots or not. I'm just going to have to look and see how the roots look. But if some of them are putting on really good roots in these 2-inch pots, I will be potting them up into 4-inch ones. But first, I'm going to tackle the ones that are in these 4-inch pots. So the pots I'm putting them in are these gallon pots, and these are ones that I just saved when I bought perennials either last year or the year before. It's always nice to save your pots when you buy annuals or perennials. I save them every year because I always end up potting things up. In fact, yesterday I potted up all my geraniums, impatiens, and petunias that I started from seed. Those are going to be going out in my window box that is out front of my business, and the seed trays were just too small for them, so I potted them up into 4-inch pots. Now that I've done that, they're going to start growing like crazy. So you always want to save your pots when you buy things at the garden center. And then I'm just going to be using regular potting soil. It's the Black Gold brand. Honestly, it's just what I could get in town here that wasn't frozen, that they actually had thawed out and ready to go this time of year. So I'm just going to start filling some of these pots with soil, and then we will take these out and take a look at what the roots look like on them. All right, so I have 5 of the 1-gallon pots filled. I'm just going to switch things around here so you guys can see what's going on. Let's grab this big one. So this one is Miss Amara. This was one that I really liked last year. Now I have these gallon pots filled about 3/4 of the way full, and I'm just going to kind of move the soil around to the outside, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole plant out, and this plant actually, the tuber is down in here and it is still exposed. I can see the top of the tuber still exposed in the soil. And these plants that are growing off of the top of it, there are actually 6 different growth points that are coming off of that one tuber. And so basically I'm going to bury this down a little bit in the pot, because now I want that whole tuber covered. Just like you would plant it outside, you want the whole tuber covered. So it's actually going to go, oh my gosh, this is pulling out a little tough. I can't wait to see what these roots look like. This is going to go, the soil's going to go a little bit above the base of the plant. Oh my gosh, yes. Look at the roots on that. Fully developed, and you can start to see a few little tubers forming already. That is so amazing. So I'm going to put this down in here. So my tuber is probably a little more than 1 inch below the top of the can. And then I'm going to scoop my potting soil with this 4-inch pot that I just used. And I'm just going to fill the soil in all on top of it. Get it nice and settled. Try not to make a huge mess in here, because I did just kind of clean out the greenhouse. Okay, I need a little more soil. I'll zoom in on the next one so you guys can see it a little more up close. And these don't have to be perfect. They're not going to live in these pots for a really long time. Today is April 11th. So honestly, probably in a month and a half, these are going to get planted outside in the ground. It's getting kind of bright in here. These are going to get planted outside in the ground for the season. But this will just help them a little bit, and probably honestly will stimulate their growth because now they have a lot more room to grow. So settle the soil a little bit. Here's what it looks like. That looks so much more proportionate. And these honestly are a little dry, so the leaves are curled a little bit. They need watered. So once I get these all potted up, I'm gonna take them outside and just hose them down and give them a really good soaking. So let me zoom the camera in and we'll do the next one. Oh, and I gotta put the tag in so I remember what the plant is called. All right, so here's my pot. It's about 3/4 full. Actually, I might dump a little bit out. That might be just a little bit full. There, that's a little better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move the soil kind of off to the side and make an area for the plant to sit down in there. We'll do this one. This is another Miss Amara. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 growth points coming off of it. So I'm going to pull it out by the strongest stem. I don't want to break anything. Oh, wow. So look at the roots on that one. You can see the tubers here that were planted. And then if we turn it around, you can see some tubers starting to form already on it. So I'm going to set this down in here. So that's about 1 inch under the soil. Then I'm just going to fill it up and settle the soil in around it. All right, then I got to put the tag in so I know exactly which one it is. Okay, so I have 3 more of these 4-inch pots that I want to pot up. None of them are as big as those, but I still think I'm going to go ahead and pot these up. So I have a Senior's Hope. I have a Diva. Diva was another one of my favorites last year. I absolutely loved that one. And then I have a question mark. So I don't know what that is, but it's really healthy looking. So I'm going to get these planted up, and then we'll go through and we'll check my little 2-inch pots and see if those roots are developing enough to get those into 4-inch pots. Okay, these are done. They look so much better. The Diva one, which is this one, the tuber was so tall and there were actually new little growth points starting on the top. I have it right at soil level, but the others are buried nicely. This one looks a little small compared to the others, but now that it's in a bigger pot and I'm gonna start putting these outside a little bit for some fresh air, I'm guessing they're gonna put on some really good growth. So I'm gonna transfer them back into this tray. This is also a tray that I got when I bought perennials, and these hold the gallon pots. So it is so nice that if your garden center has these trays, when you can actually pick things up to keep these, because now I can just carry this whole thing out to water it all together. So I'm gonna set this behind me. All right. Let's take a look at what some of these smaller ones look like. Again, I don't know if these are going to be ready to pot up or not, but we will just see. They might not be, and they'll be fine staying in these. But it looks like I have a Miss Amara. I have a couple Miss Amaras. What else do I have in here? I might just take these out and let them live in the greenhouse today. I have a Diva. Miss Amara, another Senior's Hope. This one's looking pretty sad. Most of them look awesome. There's about 2 that look really sad. Okay, peaches and cream. Peaches and cream is one that I was hoping some of these would really take because I'd love to up my stock on these. Miss Amara. The Miss Amara all did so well. I got so many cuttings off of those. There's 2 more Miss Amara. Honestly, I might end up having more than I need of that one. Okay, here's a question mark. Here's another peaches and cream that looks really, really good. This is such an easy way to up your dahlia stock, and I will link the video. I did a video on my whole process on taking these dahlia cuttings. I will link that at the end of this video, but it is so easy. I used the Root Riot plugs and 100% of them took. And like I said, there's only 2 that look a little sad. And honestly, maybe they just need a little bit of fertilizer, but they're not looking too bad. These 2 look great. These are both Diva. And these should flower this year also. Here's a question mark. There's another Senior's Hope. One more. Another peaches and cream. So I have 3 peaches and cream. That is great. All right. Let's put some soil in one of these 4-inch pots. Let's do a couple. Let's just see if any of these are ready. I'm going to start with one of these bigger ones. This is a Miss Amara. Oh. Oh, yeah. Look at that. There's roots all around. This is definitely ready to be potted up. I mean, it could be in there a little bit longer, but it definitely is okay to be potted up. I'm going to get rid of some of my soil. Okay. Oh, that's going to be nice. And this has a bunch of new growth. Oh, that looks so good. Okay. That looks so much better. So now these roots are going to be able to branch out. And I think what I'm going to do with all of these today, I think I'm going to give them a dose of fertilizer. I'm going to do full strength. So I use the Espoma Grow, and I think it is 1 capful per gallon, which my watering can that I have is a 13 liter, which is about a 3.5 gallon. So I usually put about 3.5 lids of that in there. That's what I did when I transplanted all my petunias and geraniums and that yesterday. So I think when I get all of these potted up, or whether they're left in these little 2-inch containers, I'm just going to set them all on the ground and give them a nice fertilizing, because I'm sure that they could use that. All right, I'm going to get the rest of these planted. I might end up taking my sweatshirt off. It's getting really hot in here. And then I will show you what everything looks like when they're done. All right, so I'm done potting up. I ended up leaving 4 in the little 2-inch cans, and the rest of them I potted up into these 4-inch ones. There were a lot of roots on a lot of these plants, and so I think they look fantastic. This is really gonna help them. I'm gonna go ahead and move everything outside, get my fertilizer mixed, and we'll get these watered in. Okay, everything's watered in. Again, I use the Espoma Grow. My watering can is about 3.5 gallons, so I put 2 of the capfuls into the watering can, filled it about halfway, watered these in really good, and I think they're going to be really, really happy. And behind me, you can see my winter sowing. A little bit of action on those, not a lot yet, but there's still time. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this video. And again, I will link the video to where I started this project at the end. And then if you guys missed that, then you can see my whole entire process. So stay tuned for a lot more this spring. We'll see you soon.